Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing a meal prep video with you. This is what I did this weekend to prep for the upcoming work week. Now, this is a keto style meal prep, but please keep watching even if you're not doing keto or low carb. I think that a lot of the recipes and ideas in this video will apply to just about anybody. So when I went grocery shopping this morning, I got a huge package of chicken breasts from Aldi that were on sale for $1.69 a pound. So I'm just going ahead and cutting those up. You can see that 2 of the chicken breasts I cut into cutlets and I put those in a shallow glass dish. I'm going to marinate those. And then for the other pieces, I'm going to go ahead and chop those into small chunks. I'll be making a soup one night this week for supper, and so having those pieces of chicken in the refrigerator ready to go will really be a time saver when it comes time for me to cook that this week. So I'm just going to seal that bag up and get that in the fridge. For the chicken cutlets, what I'm going to do is cook these and then slice them up for salads this week for lunches. And so I'm just seasoning them with some lemon zest, some olive oil, salt, pepper, and some of the 21 seasoning Salute from Trader Joe's. That's my favorite kind of all-purpose seasoning. And then after I'm done zesting that lemon, I'll go ahead and squeeze the juice on the chicken as well. So I let this chicken sit in my marinade for about 2 hours in the refrigerator, and then I just heated up some olive oil in a very hot skillet, and I'm going to go ahead and saute these on both sides until they're cooked through. When they're done, you just want to remove them to a plate and let them rest for about 20 minutes. After they're done resting, you can slice them. I like to make sure that I slice them pretty thin on an angle so that the meat is really tender, and then I will go ahead and pack those up. These are really great for salads and wraps during the week to take to work, and they're also great to put in kids' lunch boxes too. So all of those juices that came out of the chicken while it was resting, don't lose that flavor. Once you put the chicken breast in your dish, go ahead and just pour that juice right over top of it. That will help the chicken from drying out while it's in the refrigerator. So the next thing that I wanted to do was for that soup recipe I was telling you guys about earlier. I'm going to make like a chicken vegetable soup in my Instant Pot. It's kind of just a made up recipe, so I don't have any links, but I had some zucchini left over in the refrigerator from last week. I made zoodles, and so I wanted to make sure I use this up. So you can see me just dicing it into small cubes there, and I'm also going to add a pepper to that, and just having this in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag makes it super easy to throw it in my Instant Pot and cook up that soup this week. You could definitely put these veggies in separate bags if you're concerned about that, but since I'm going to use them all in the same recipe, I think it's just as easy to throw them all in the same Ziploc bag. So here you can see me chopping up a red onion as well, and there are my prep to veggies for my soup this week. I also had several other peppers that I wanted to get cut up. I find that if I prep produce during the weekend, that makes it more likely that we will eat it during the week. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice these 2 peppers into strips, and then I will just pack those in a glass container in the refrigerator, and we can use those for salads and snacking. So if you guys have been following me for a little while, you know that I always talk about liking to chop my own lettuce. I just think it tastes so much fresher and it actually lasts a lot longer, I find, in the refrigerator. So here I just had 3 heads of romaine that I wanted to get chopped up to use for salads this week. What I like to do is just chop those up and put them in a salad spinner. I have one with a bowl, and then I squeeze a lemon in there and go ahead and just drop some of the rind in the bowl as well. And then I turn my faucet to the coldest that I can get it to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill up my bowl of my salad spinner there. I let that sit in the cold lemon water for probably about 10 minutes before I rinse it off, and then I spin it dry. And this seriously is the best way that I've found to store your lettuce. So I have one of those Rubbermaid containers with a paper towel, and that's how I store it. So next, I'm just going to make some dip for veggies. I'm using some of the Hidden Valley dip mix along with 2 cups of sour cream. And I also find that if you add a little bit of mayo to your sour cream dip, it makes it a little bit rich. And since we're doing keto this week, the fat, doesn't hurt either, since keto is kind of a higher fat diet. I have these little dressing cups that I always get on Amazon, and I'm just going to go ahead and pre-fill about 6 of those with this dip. That way I can pack them with some raw veggies, and we'll have some healthy snacks this week to take to work. I'm also going to go ahead and chop up some broccoli and cauliflower. I have one night this week where we are going to have steamed broccoli and cauliflower with cheese sauce, but I probably won't need all of it. So what I'm going to do is just chop it up, put it all together in a Ziploc bag, and then I can use some of it for snacking veggies and salads, and then the remainder of it we'll use for dinner. For cauliflower, I just think it's easiest to quarter the whole head and then take the core out and then just chop it up into bite-sized pieces. I wash that the same way as I do my lettuce, so I just let it soak in some cold water and drain it off, and it's good to go. I also got this cute little baggie of radishes at Aldi, and I wanted to chop those up as well. So I just put them in a strainer and rinse them off under cold water. And then I also had a cucumber that I wanted to get chopped up. So I'm just going to chop that into coins and then go ahead and fill some of these baggies with raw veggies and 1 little cup of dip. This is a super easy way to get your kids to eat vegetables as well. They're great for kids' lunches, for adults' lunches to take on the go. I would totally recommend this idea if you're looking for healthy snacks on the go. So here are my completed veggie packs and other raw veggies. I'm going to go ahead and get these in the refrigerator to use this week. So the next thing that I wanted to make was some homemade Caesar salad dressing. I'll leave the link to that in the description box below, but what you need for that is some Worcestershire sauce, some anchovy paste, sour cream, Dijon mustard, some garlic, some mayo, olive oil, 2 lemons juiced, and some salt and pepper. So my favorite way to make this dressing is in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could totally either make it in a blender, or you could probably just whisk it up in a bowl as well. So basically, I'm just going to put all of the ingredients in my food processor and blend that up. And this is seriously the freshest, best Caesar salad dressing you will ever taste. When I'm trying to eat healthier and eat a lot of salads, I really like to make homemade dressings because I just feel like they taste so much better. And when I have a dressing that's really good and I'm looking forward to eating, that really helps me get more veggies in and want to eat my salad. My favorite way to store homemade dressings is to just put them in a mason jar and keep them in the refrigerator. And this stuff gets better the longer it sits in your refrigerator. I usually don't keep it longer than a week, but it's really good. So the next thing that I'm going to make is some Caprese salad. I actually made some of this last week and it was so good I was craving it again. So in my bowl there, I'm just putting some cherry tomatoes as well as some little mozzarella balls. I got those at Aldi. They're very good. I have an herb pot out on my back deck, so I'm just chopping up some basil, a little bit of dill, and a little bit of parsley. I also like to add some red onion and green onion to my caprese as well, along with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and just a tiny little bit of crushed garlic and crushed red pepper flake. I kind of got the idea for this style of caprese from a grocery store up in Iowa City called New Pioneer Co-op. They have a caprese there that I really like, and so I have always just replicated it. And I'll just put this into some glass dishes and put them in the refrigerator for us to eat this week. So I think I've shared this idea before on my channel, but I have these little snack boxes. They're the Sistema brand. I think I got them a long time ago at Aldi, but you can also find them on Amazon as well. But I like to make these little snack packs with cubed cheese and meat and nuts. I just think they're a great high protein, low carb snack to have on hand in the refrigerator, and my kids like them as well. So I used some pepper jack cheese and some smoked Gouda cheese that I had in the refrigerator. And then I went ahead and put some beef sticks in there that I chopped up along with some of these gourmet olive oil and herb almonds. They're really good. So I love having these on hand in the fridge to snack on. So if you guys have ever done low carb or keto before, you know that one of the big things that you can eat and do eat on this diet is bacon. And so I find it's a lot easier for me to cook it up ahead of time and just have it in the refrigerator so that we can use it for salads and breakfast during the week. I tried not to cook it too crispy because some of these I was going to use for my Instant Pot egg bites, which I'll be making later in this video. Those are a breakfast meal prep. So I just went ahead and cooked this on medium on the stove until it was nice and crispy. So now I'm going to get started on those egg bites. If you want a longer video on this, I actually have one of these videos on my channel for the Instant Pot Sous Vide egg bites. They're the copycat Starbucks recipe. But basically you just mix up your eggs, your cheese, cottage cheese, cream, some hot sauce, and salt and pepper. I like to use an immersion blender. I don't have a clip of that, but just so you know, that's how I mixed it up. And then I just take these little silicone molds that I got on Amazon, put some crumbled bacon in the bottom of each one, and then just pour in the egg mixture, trying to equally distribute it over all of the cups. And then all you do is just put it in your Instant Pot and steam it, and these come out really, really delicious. If you've ever had the one from Starbucks, they don't taste exactly like it, I don't think, but they're really good, and we like to have them for breakfast during the work week. So you can see I have my Instant Pot here with two of those stacked one on top of the other. I have a cup of water in the bottom with the trivet. I'm just going to go ahead and put my lid on, and then I will set it to 8 minutes on the steam setting. When it's done, you want to do a 10-minute natural pressure release and then go ahead and vent it and take the lid off. See how puffy and delicious they are? I actually had one of these for breakfast this morning with some avocado and lime juice. It was so good. So the next thing I'm going to do is just let them cool slightly, and then I will put them in some glass containers to have for the work week. You only need to heat these up for about a minute in the microwave and you're good to go. Okay, so since we're going on a keto or low carb diet, I also wanted to have some sweets on hand as well. There's not a lot of dessert type food that you can have on this particular diet, which is fine. I'm not really a dessert person anyway, but I saw a few recipes online that I wanted to try. The first thing I'm going to make is these little low carb peanut butter and jelly cups. So first, what you see me doing there is making the raspberry filling. You just cook raspberries on the stove with a little bit of water and then add in some powdered stevia, or you could use Splenda as well, and add some gelatin in, and this will help thicken it up. I ended up having to use a whisk to make sure that everything was incorporated. But once that's done, you've basically just kind of made a quick homemade raspberry jam. So go ahead and let that cool, and then you can make the actual peanut butter cup part. So you just use 3/4 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. The lowest carb I could find was Skippy, and then 3/4 of a cup of coconut oil. You just melt that in the microwave for about a minute until it is nice and fluid. And then I added a couple tablespoons of powdered stevia as well. So what I have here is just a muffin tray with some silicone liners. I got those on Amazon, and just pour a little bit into the bottom of each cup. Go ahead and put those in the freezer for about 15 minutes and they'll harden up. Then you can go ahead and add your raspberry jam to the middle, and then you'll pour again the rest of the peanut butter on top, and then put them back in the freezer for again about 10 to 15 minutes until they harden up. These are seriously good. I know that they're sort of like a diet food, like a low carb thing, but they actually taste like a peanut butter and jelly candy. So I was actually really happy with this recipe. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave a link below. So these are really easy to peel out of the silicone muffin cups, and then I just went ahead and put them in individual baggies. You want to make sure that you store these in the refrigerator, because if you don't, they will for sure melt. But actually I put one in Adam's lunch today and he liked them as well. So the last recipe that I'm going to make is some Allspice Muffins. These are low carb sweet muffins, and they're from the Keto Diet book by Leanne Vogel. What you're going to need is some walnuts, some coconut oil, a lemon, some almond flour, some powdered stevia, some baking powder, some allspice. You will also need some vanilla extract, as well as some salt, some ground flax seed, and some eggs. So for this recipe, you will just mix together all of your dry ingredients together in a bowl, and I just went ahead and whisked those together with a fork to combine them all before I added my wet ingredients. These muffins actually turned out pretty darn good. If you guys have ever eaten anything sugar-free before, you know that sometimes the texture can be off, the flavor could be off, and to me they kind of just taste like a little spice cake with some nuts on top. I think that they will be really good to have on hand for this week if we feel like we need something sweet for breakfast or for a dessert. But basically that's all this recipe is. Just like any muffin recipe, it's pretty simple. Just combine everything together in a bowl, whisk it up, and pour it in your muffin tins. For this recipe, I used paper muffin tins that I had pre-sprayed with a little bit of nonstick spray, and it worked perfectly. I also like mixing muffins in this batter bowl that I have because it has a spout. Although I did not use it for this particular recipe, I used an ice cream scoop, but that's a good one to have on hand, especially if you like to make muffins or other baked goods. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these in the muffin cups, and I'll bake those off, and then I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. Okay, so here are these muffins all baked up. You can see that the walnuts got nice and toasted on top of the muffins. I went ahead and froze half of these and put the other half in an airtight container. So that's it, guys. I hope that you got some inspiration for your own meal prep. Like I said, whether you're doing keto or another diet, or whether you're not following any diet, I really think that it's smart to have food on hand like this in the refrigerator so that you and your family can make healthier choices throughout the week. So thanks again for watching. I will actually be posting what I eat in a day keto video sometime at the end of this week, so make sure that you're subscribed. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.